Hey everybody, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And today we bring you the clairs. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairalience, clairgustance. I almost said Claire Augustine.
I almost said that too. I don't know why.
Like, that one's new to me. I've never seen that word before today. And claircognizance. We're bringing you all the different gifts, not just spiritual gifts, because they seem to be innately human in us all. So come sit a spell and listen to us tell you all about this stuff so that you can I already said so all the words before so that you can see what resonates with you and work to bring it forth, which we'll go over more in the next episode.
So I have to say so I have to say, you know, these things that we're mentioning right here, we're speaking through a spiritual perspective. Now, I am going to mention that I have seen people mention that, like, it's like a psychological thing. Like, for example, if you are an empath, it's because you probably lived on your toes most of your childhood.
Okay, yeah, that's what you. Okay, I got you. I don't agree with that. I think it's more like
agree with that.
Third eye related. Like
I agree. So
sense, you know what I mean?
That's what we're going to be discussing. Yes. We're not psychologists.
If you're looking for the hard sciencey, we don't have really hard sciencey, but we'll come at you with soft sciencey, because magic and science do overlap.
Yes.
Just not in the way where we're all like on science ass. That was great. I almost quoted this show, We're Friends with the Neat Cast. Their promo actually will be in this episode. No, it'll be in the last episode, and maybe this episode too. Who knows? But, two of the three guys, two of them are believers in, like, cryptids, aliens, all that. One of them is not, and they call him a science sucker. And I almost said, like, we're not science suckers, but, like, that is totally their term. I've never heard it anywhere else.
Yeah, that's not on us.
Copyright.
Right. Oh, my God.
Hey,
they should put that on a shirt.
I don't think they listen to us at all.
I actually would love that on a t-shirt.
I would wear that. I would wear a shirt that said science sucker.
Put atheist on the front and on the back, science sucker. Not offending anybody. I think that's
right. No,
funny.
It's great. No, I fucking love that. And when I was an atheist, I would have worn that.
Right.
It's funny. Like, did you see the thing I shared on my Facebook today?
No. What was it?
It was a picture of Jeff Daniels, our Veles, and he was the dude from Big Lebowski.
Yes.
And it said, like, it was just a picture of him. It wasn't necessarily... there was... Part of it was a quote for him. So, like, at the top, not his quote, was, like, when your old friends who used to know you as, like, a science-obsessed atheist...
I did see that, right?
And then
it's like things
have come to light. Exactly.
Yes, I did see that.
So I was like, it's funny that you said what you said, because it made me think of that. Yeah. Anyway, full circle.
Full circle back to the clairs.
Yes, the clairs. Not ladies. Senses. Claire senses.
So
oh my God. Sensei Claire. I'm sorry. Like,
is that from something?
No.
Okay.
I just love... The clairs evoke so many fun little stupid things in my head, like the Heathers and other et al. So I've been really excited for this episode, half because of calling them the clairs, as if they are a group of girls.
Women.
Women.
I love that.
Yeah,
so the first one we're going to start with is clairvoyance.
Seeing.
I feel like clairvoyance is usually one of the most well-known ones.
Yes, absolutely.
You know
like, if you know one of these
She's clairvoyant,
words,
dumbass.
Exactly.
And you know who I'm quoting.
That word.
You know who I'm quoting. Our favorite bitch, Emma Roberts.
Yep.
She's clairvoyant.
I didn't know who you were quoting until you said our favorite bitch, and I was like, oh, Emma Roberts. Okay.
From American Horror Story, Coven.
Yeah, we haven't had a bitch to cast for a while, so good way of bringing her around.
Right. Surprise, bitch.
Yeah,
but anyway.
It's where you see visions of the past, present, or future in your head, in your mind's eye, or you see like ghosts and other things from beyond the veil with your physical eyes.
Well, and I told Amber that this one is probably the one that I feel most connected with as a tarot reader, because like Amber said, it helps you see clearly the past, the present, and the future. And also as a medium, I do sense and see spirits beyond the veil. No, I do not give readings. Please don't ask. Sorry, sometimes people okay,
no, I understand. The only message I ever got to Amber is thecolor.com was like, do you reach out to,
I refuse
people?
To
and
do
I was
it.
like, I deal with my spirit guides.
No way.
If somebody were to come to me, but I wouldn't know necessarily, like,
I'm not comfortable enough in my, like,
I am confident enough in my relationship with spirit to channel whatever comes to me. That said, I don't, unless it was something that was like super, like, gave me a fucking name and whatever, like, I don't know that that's for you.
I did it once,
you know what I mean?
And I'm going to share my story because it's important to me. I did it once, and nobody I know listens to this. Maybe my mom listens. Hi, Mom, but I don't really think so. So my great aunt unfortunately passed away in a motorcycle accident. She was riding a motorcycle with her sister. By the way, watch for motorcycles, please. It is the weather.
Look twice.
Yeah, seriously.
Look twice, save a life. It's one of my friends 2 years ago almost lost his life.
It's the weather right now. They're all coming out, all the motorcycle riders.
So. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the time to ride. Yeah. I even told, like, we're going to take, my mom doesn't listen because I don't want to sound effect. Anyway, like, she doesn't, podcasts apparently are not my mother's thing. Anyway, so I can share with you guys, but I can't on my social media because she might see it there. But like, we're going to, for her birthday, we're taking her to Eureka Springs, and my older middle daughter rides a motorcycle, and I was like, you should bring your bike because Eureka Springs is a beautiful place for riding. They've got a bunch of motorcycle bars and stuff, which you can't get into, but there'll be other people riding motorcycles, you know? Right. Like, so you're right. Like, it's the time to ride. It's vacation time, which means even more cars are on the road, as well as more motorcycles.
And if you ride a motorcycle, don't be a dick, man, because sometimes y'all can be assholes. I'm just
Please, God, don't fucking give me a heart attack.
I feel like I can say that my family rides, and I know for a fact y'all could be assholes.
I had somebody Zoom in Texas. They fucking zoomed in the tiniest spot at like 90 miles an hour, gunning it right after we got past a traffic jam for an 8-car accident. Scared the living shit out of me. We almost had another accident. I about pissed myself.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't know what the fuck that noise was because it was right outside my car where he gunned it as he was sliding between where there was no room to slide between. And I almost shit myself because you know what? I may be from Texas, but I can actually drive. You guys can't. I drive there all the time. I can say this. It's fine.
This was years ago, and this was somebody running a stop sign. As a matter of fact, it was running a stop sign, so needless to say, there was a decent settlement there. But anyway, so this person ran a stop sign, hit my aunt. She was riding with my other aunt, her sister, and she flung into the air, and she hit that vein in the leg.
The femur. The femoral artery. My bad. Femur's the bone.
Yeah.
I'm not that dumb, guys. They're connected, obviously.
And you know, it was a very sad process. They airlifted her. They took her up. Oh, it was horrible. You know, this is why it's important to learn how to create a tourniquet out of your belt in case of an emergency. It really is. This is exactly why. Safety or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so that happened and she passed away I think it was in the ambulance or when the ambulance landed and they just got there. And my aunt came to me a couple days later and she asked me to give her a reading. And this was very unusual because all the women in my family have the gift. Okay. They have noticed that once they reach menopausal age, however, it seems to fade. It's not like that for everyone, but it is in my family. So go ahead.
Well, I want to let you finish your story because I don't want to stop it, but then I have a thing to add to that, just a talking point.
Okay. So she...
Oh, I guess that's for our next episode. I'm going to jot it down for the next episode.
So, and also they're really scared, the older aunts, the great aunts. They have the same gift, but they've been terrified to use them. So when you don't exercise that gift, it fades.
That is exactly what but that's for next episode, guys. Continue listening.
Anyway, so she asked me about it, and she says, well, what happened? Was there anything I could have done? Does she have anything she wants to say to me? And I said, well, she wants you to know that the second she hit that car, she was gone. Well, you're wrong. She was still alive after she hit the car. And I understand at that point you're in a very distraught state because you just watched your sister pass away. And maybe I didn't use the proper terms. And this is getting around circle why I don't give spiritual readings, because I fucking suck at finding the right words. And let me explain what I was trying to say. When she hit the car, her fate was sealed.
Right.
But because I said it the way I did, when she hit the car, she was already gone. Well, she didn't die instantly. That's not right. You don't know what you're talking about. I suck at fucking words, and I know I'm going to offend somebody because I've done it before in the past. And I tried to explain it correctly, but at that point, the damage was kind of done because she didn't. She's like, well, that's not right. You're talking to someone else. You know what I mean? And she got very upset. Amber's better at words than I am, so maybe that wouldn't be a problem for her, but it is for me, so I don't give spiritual readings. I give tarot readings, but not ghosts.
No, right, yeah, no. And for me, again, it's that I wouldn't have a way of being able to verify who the message is from. Mm-hmm. So, even when I give tarot readings, I give you the message that's there. Mm-hmm. I don't put details on it that I didn't get in my reading.
Right.
A lot of readers do that to quote unquote help it make sense. But
I feel like I do that. I don't mean to. It just comes to me though.
But that's the difference in what I mean. Like, if I'm trying to make it make sense to you versus I'm telling you what's coming to me in the reading, those are two different things to me. So readers that will try to make all these things make sense in a way that it makes sense to the reader. If you're quite often you muddy the water so that the individual excuse me guys,
no, I've been
individual
yawning.
Getting the reading, it gets muddled for them and now the message isn't clear. Whereas if you only give what you got from the reading versus trying to make them understand it,
right,
they are getting the clear message from the spirits. And that is what I, as a conduit, am to do when I'm channeling in a tarot reading or an oracle reading. So I give what I got from it, right? So this is that, and this is what I get from it, but I won't go further than that, right? And if we are discussing Saturday night in Tulsa, we talked back and forth several times, and certain things that I had a hot take on, or not necessarily a hot take, but I was like, I think this means this, but the whole thing together meant something to them, and that's the message they were supposed to get, which is why I don't put I wonder if that was my elbow. And when I say, if I have a hot take, I do say, I think this is what this means together. But if I am just trying to make it make sense to them, I don't like to do that because I think it muddies the waters.
I feel that.
I only share what I see.
So I think...
as, the clairvoyance stage.
As a reader, there have been plenty of times where I'm like, hold up, I need to redo this real quick. I mean, I read with Amber all the time. Every full moon and new moon on our Facebook page is Peace, Love, and Tea Leaves, and Amber is a color. If you haven't already, give us a like.
Yeah, I'm quite colorful.
But there are times when I'm giving a reading and I'm like, oh my god, he's fucking someone else, and and they're just like, he is, I knew it, and it just goes with it. But I don't do it on purpose. I'm just I'm telling you. this is what's happening. Like, and that was a really bad example because I never say that. I just say, who is she? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, but I get it.
It just depends on how it comes
it's
to
like,
me.
I got at one point I got the 10 of rings reversed, and you know, upright, it means household harmony, family happiness, that kind of shit, prosperity in the household. Reversed, it means problems with inheritances, problems with family generational
Did you say 10
stuff.
of coins?
10 of rings reversed.
Oh,
yeah,
rings,
it's
okay.
my Lord of the Rings deck. But I usually don't like to deal with reversals, but for some reason Saturday night I kept dealing with them, and that was what made sense. You know what I mean? So it's like I went with what, like, even though I don't like doing reversals, I did them.
So I would like to ask,
it's like that made it make more sense.
as a
Which
reader,
made me believe in reversals more, because quite
well,
often
that makes me ask you as a reader. So, like, I don't understand, and you are not the only person. Plenty of people say, well, I don't read reversed. I don't understand that as a reader and practitioner, because to me, they're
think you have
reversed for a
to-
reason.
Well, there's different, like, do you pay attention to how you're holding your cards every single time?
Right, because like I can see where that would be a thing.
And also, do you always remember how you laid the first one down versus how you laid the second one down? Did you accidentally flip it when you were putting it down?
For me,
versus flipping it over this way, like flipping it over that way, you know? Because that will change the direction of the card.
Well,
if you do it up. Like, if you take the card and you flip it this way versus picking a card up and flipping it this way, you know, you could accidentally make some. But then again, there are no coincidences.
That's exactly what I was going to say. But that's how the universe had it. Whether
right.
You
Yeah.
know
exactly.
what I mean?
And honestly, again, my experience Saturday night made me realize, like, and you've been with me in our readings on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I always give the reversal reading, but I also give the upright reading.
Yeah, to see which
in
one.
case
Yeah.
whatever resonates best with them situationally. And like, I was like, this is what it means upright, but it came out reversed, I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure it's reversed. And she was like, damn straight it is.
Yeah.
Like, that is what I'm dealing with right now. It is reversed. And I usually, that's like, yeah, I don't know. It was one of those eye-opening experiences, pun, I guess, fully intended, because clairvoyance.
Right, so that's kind of how it connects with
Yeah.
us, clairvoyance.
But also, everybody has the ability, because the base
Right.
definition of clairvoyance is being able to physically picture these things in your mind's eye. Now, it's being able to physically picture accurately, but then again, what's accurate? Oh my
Right.
God, that reminds me of
I know.
an episode I wanted to pose to you where we like try to do remote viewing with each other, like kind of thing, and see like how, or not necessarily remote viewing, but like I'm going to focus on this thing and you're going to try to see what my focus is.
Oh my God,
draw a picture to go along with it.
yes.
Would you guys?
I would.
All right, you're going to have to sign up for Patreon, because we're going on our break starting July, but there will be fresh episodes
One of the
July
things-
and August on our Patreon.
Okay, so I don't know if this is, I guess this is using your gift maybe. I don't know. I'm going to mention it, but I'm not going to go into detail if you think it's for the next episode. My mentor gave me an exercise to practice with your gifts, like whatever it be. I think it's like clairvoyance, because it's the clear seeing, and I think that's what it is. And claircognizance, which is clear knowing, and it's have somebody, a friend or a partner, hide something in your apartment, and then you sit in the middle of your apartment or your
That's
house.
remote viewing.
And yes, and then
So
you
we could do
think-
2 separate Patreon episodes, guys.
Yes, please. I'm gonna be like, Amber, where the fuck is it? I give up. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
like, look,
psych.
we
I'm gonna
need
find that
better
bitch.
microphones for when we do our tarot episodes with our guests, because right now, the microphones we have were the first set we got, and they actually do not work in conjunction with hearing another person. So they only work for our solo episodes together. I say solo, but we're a team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, like, just these witches, your favorite witches, or for when we like travel. But like when we're going to have somebody else on, we need to have microphones that we can talk in while we use our headphones so that the audio can be better. So if you want to help us, our Patreon's a great way to do it.
And you can find
and you
us,
can get
like
extra.
you can see us do some crazy
we
things.
get behind the scenes on there. We've got extra content. We've got horoscopes. We've got merch, and you get a shout out at the end of the episode or in the middle. Hi, Victoria and Melissa.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, Victoria.
Okay, but
So
yeah,
the
like
next-
no, there are things you can do, which I guess we should talk
Yeah,
about
I know.
in the next episode. But like clairaudience, I
This
connect
one's
to
more
this.
for Amber, I think.
I connect to this a lot just because it has been a huge part of my fucking life. Like when I was a kid, clairaudience is clear hearing, and it means that you can hear either inside your head, which is one thing I did not count as clairaudience. I counted it as daydreaming personally, but if you can evoke melodies in your head, if you can evoke words spoken either by yourself or someone else in your own head, that apparently is also
So would an
clairaudience.
example of that be like, so you're sitting in a car with someone and somebody's like singing a song in their head and then and you start singing it out loud.
So just the act of them singing that song in their head would be the act of clairaudience.
Okay.
You singing it out loud would be, I would think, clairaudience and claircognizance, because you're picking up on your knowing. So it's either.
So is this like an
claircognizance
inner
or
monologue
clairsentience.
then?
No, not an inner monologue.
Okay.
Like it's not the talking to yourself thing. It's evoking other things in that same way, which I do have, and I just thought it was part of the inner monologue.
Yeah, same.
But no, apparently if
I'm doing it right now.
For spirit to get through to you and not your own voice is like a stronger connection, I read, which was kind of cool because like it's not my own voice most of the time, but that's cool. Whatever. That's not the point here. I was very interested to know. So this is a gift that if you can do these things in your head, you may be able to build upon that with clairaudience, but also it's hearing like spirits, which is the only thing I ever, before today, when reading up on it more, I only thought it was hearing like spirits and not, I don't mean like necessarily, it's going to sound crazy, but like, or deities talking to you, you know what I mean? Like, but it's also when they're talking to you inside your head. But when I was a kid, I was always, there was like a buzz of conversation around me all the time. As an adult, upon reflection, I truly believe it was my ancestors that were just like, they were watching out for little old Amber, you know, the jewel of the Black Sea.
So I think this is my weakest gift in the clairs, and I think that's because it scares the ever-loving shit out of me.
And I wonder if that has anything to do with where, like, when we did our music episode and you were like, don't hate me, but I don't like music. Like, you're not drawn to music. Is that possibly, like, does that have anything to do with not feeling as connected to clairaudience as the
It
other
very well
clairs?
could be. It very well could be.
The
Because, like,
clairs.
it really is the least connected one that I feel to. And I do believe it's because I did hear spirit. I can see spirits. I can hear them. And do you know how terrifying it is?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Wait, before I even finish that, yes.
Yes.
How terrifying it is to lay in bed at night and hear someone say, hey, bitch, no, I'm trying to go to sleep. What the fuck? And then, like, I got a video of that one guy. He's like, nice. Remember in my house?
Yes,
Like, I'm
I do
rearranging my
remember
house. And this fucking spirit is like, cool. Or what did he say? He said, like, nice or cool.
I feel like it...
Or was it like, wow?
Was it cool?
Was it
Was it
wow?
nice?
It may have been wow or something.
It was like a small
Word, yeah.
word, but...
And it was just like creepy. Creepy.
No, and I mean, that's
There's
why
something
as a
about
kid,
disembodied voices, you
it's
know?
terrifying. I kind of thought everybody kind of had to go through it until, like, I said something when I was a kid that made me realize, like, nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. And my dad, who is definitely, like, he's probably the most spiritual person in my family outside of myself, like, because he can see and talk to spirits. But if he picked up on what I was laying down as a child, he did not help me with that at all. And I was just like kind of freaked the fuck out. So I always went to bed with like the radio on as a kid.
Yeah.
And then when I got older, I went to bed with the TV on, because like when you've got the background noise, you can't hear the buzzing. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I hope you're not schizophrenic. Like,
no, like it's not in my head. It's outside of my head, and quite
it is
often,
the way. Okay, first of all, I did not mean that in an offensive way.
No,
I didn't think you were offensive. Are you offended? But to our viewers, no, I did not mean
sorry,
that
guys. She was just kidding with me.
Sorry, guys.
Not to offend any of you, but like, but like, because it is not in my head, it is
easily
external
covered.
Voices. A, it is easier to cover, in my opinion. But B, also, I do not feel like that is linked to any mental illness, because it is coming from outside, like straight up, like to the point that sometimes the hairs in my ears moved with the talking.
God, I feel that. That has happened
creepy.
to me. Yeah, it is so creepy.
It is so creepy.
Oh, right. So we're moving on to clairsentience.
Clairsentience, which is clear feeling, which I would say
it's very,
the
like,
majority,
empathic.
yes. It very much, empathy is listed under clairsentience, along with other things such as feeling a person or spirit's emotions, feeling the presence of a spirit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Feeling the pain of another physically in your own self. You know,
the second-hand embarrassment cringe, like Michael Cera. You know what I mean? Like,
it kills me. It kills me. It's like a knife in my gut, Michael. Don't do it.
Like, that's the best example I can think of, where it's just like, oh, God. Don't do it. But I love it. I fucking love it. I'm very connected with this one as well. I think it's very easy for me to pick up on these things. Also encompasses gut feelings, and like when you get the chills about a subject.
Oh,
I do it all the time when you and I have conversations.
Yeah. And like that made sense to me, and at the same time, I did not know that was a part of clairsentience. So again, you may have more power over your sixth sense than you believe. You may not believe you have a sixth sense, but you are a clair just like the rest of us.
Yes, and
eclair, chocolate coated and filled with yummy stuffing, creamy goodness.
Oh, Christmas.
Oh God, I love eclairs. My aunt Alexis makes eclairs to die for. Literally to die for. People in my family would probably kill over Alexis's eclairs.
Delicious.
They are fucking God in your mouth. That sounded dirty, but
it's okay. We're on book talk.
Oh damn! But I feel like most people would align with clairsentience.
Well, you say that with the goosebumps, and it makes me wonder, going back to clairaudience just for a moment, goosebumps while listening to music, then, do you think, would that be a part of clairaudience, or do you think that'd be a part of clairsentience? Or do you think that's just a personal psychological thing?
I was going to say, I think that is resonation more than anything. Like, if you're listening to some song and it gives you chills from the emotion in some way, shape, or form, I feel like that is more of a different kind of connection than the sixth senses we're talking about. I feel like it's more like just like a universal download, right? It's that the universe is telling you, pay attention to this. Like, you are resonating with it. But I don't necessarily, I personally wouldn't put it in these categories. If I did put it in these categories, because you're listening to music, you're hearing it, but I think it would be a combination of the two, hand in hand, because again, we all have access to the clairs. We're all delicious, cream-filled eclairs inside, just bursting with spiritualness. It's getting X-rated.
Bro, you gotta stop. I am on book talk, and I'm over here like...
Somebody's gonna be eating an eclair in one of her next books, y'all.
Yeah. I'm currently reading Ice Planet Barbarians, so it's probably gonna be an Avatar.
His little tail get just sticking out while he's sucking. Anyway.
Oh my God. I am
Cream
weird
filling
and true.
is my favorite part of the eclair. Let us be clear.
Claire, what is this?
Claire Aliens is clear smelling, which
This
I
is so
also
unusual.
have.
I feel like I have it, but it's not, again, it's probably going to be equal with the Claire audience. It's not my most powerful, sense. And I say that because I don't be smelling shit all the time. There are times, though, when I smell like an old woman's perfume or tobacco specifically. Specifically those two.
Right.
But that's it. It's not something that happens all the time.
And so Claire Aliens is the smelling of a smell without there being a source. Like, I used to smell this daycare and I didn't go to daycare.
I guess
ever,
school. I guess I
right?
smell like school, and I think, oh, that reminds me of like elementary school or something.
Well, and I mean, like, I would be like in a car, and all of a sudden there's this overwhelming smell that I only associated with this one daycare that I went to for a very short period of time. Like, my parents didn't have me in daycare very much. It was like an after school program for my siblings, but I was there longer or some shit. I don't fucking know. I was too little to know. But there was like a specific smell, and I'd get that smell. And as an adult, like, reflecting upon it, not too long ago, I was like, was there some lady that worked there that liked me, like, as one of the little kids that she took care of? And so, like, when she died, like, every once in a while she checks in on me,
or she checks in on all the kids that she looked at. How sweet.
I don't know, because, like, why else do I randomly get that smell? It wasn't the most pleasant part of my life. I'm a mama's girl, y'all. I'm a mama's girl. So when I was little and I wasn't in school yet, and you didn't have me with my mama, I was not a happy camper. So, like, I don't have good memories associated with the daycare place. I don't have bad ones, don't get me wrong.
But you'd rather be at home.
I would have rather been with my mom. Yeah, at wherever she was. I didn't have to be at home. But, like, the Claire audience, like, if, like Maddie said, when you are just somewhere and you get this whiff of Lily of the Valley, and your great aunt always wore Lily of the Valley perfume, that is most likely your great aunt reaching out to you for some reason. Or, like, I was performing a funeral once, and nobody was smoking, but out of nowhere there's cigarette smell and cigar smell. And after the funeral was over, because I didn't want to talk to her about it beforehand, afterward I told her what I'd smelled, and she was like, yeah, these two individuals, because we were doing an ash release ceremony for multiple family members, and apparently two of the individuals smoked cigarettes and one of them smoked cigars. And I mean, she was really comforted to know that, like, they had come back to say goodbye, like, one last time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, they were there. They were, like, nobody was smoking fucking anything.
I'm going to be real with you.
know?
Every time I go to a funeral, I feel like the person is there, and I feel like I
hope so.
Even as a Christian,
I think it's release. It's necessary release.
Exactly. Even as, like, a Christian, or if I go to a Christian funeral, because I believe that you go where you believe, and with who you believe. I like to think that the individual is standing there because God or Jesus, again referring to a Christian individual, allowed them to return to say goodbye, because I like to think that's what would happen. You know what I mean? But most of the funerals I've been to have been Christian, so.
I was going to say, like, I think I just automatically assume their spirit's kind of here until they get to say goodbye at the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Me too.
even if they're Christian,
the funeral is the goodbye.
To the pearly gates.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I think.
Even if they go into the light when they pass away, well, it's because the afterlife is just like a giant ring light. It's like the brightest bright, So no matter what, when the veil of samsara is lifted and you get to see nirvana, of course it's a bright white light.
Oh my God.
Even if you're not leaving yet, you know what I'm saying?
Can we do an episode on Ghost with Patrick Swayze? Because, like, I'm just saying.
I don't see how that fits in with us.
Sorry. I'm just saying, because I like, they did pretty well with some things. So I think it fits in well with the show, because, like, he's a ghost.
But it's not a magical movie. It's just
spiritual. Because he's a ghost. So the one that this what is this shit? I'm sorry.
Clairgustance, and that's clear tasting.
This is weird.
Clear tasting. It's tasting something that you're not currently eating.
Mm-hmm. Which I've done before.
I mean,
but is it remembering a flavor?
Like from what I read, it's mostly the clear tasting where it's a part of the clair, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not just like I'm thinking of fries and I can taste fries already. It's like your grandmother is placing the flavor of apple pie in your mouth to make you think of her because she always made apple pie for you. Or
this one confuses me because how can you tell the difference between you remembering something?
Well, if you're not thinking of it and all of a sudden grandma's apple pie is in your mouth and now you're thinking of grandma, wouldn't that be a sign from wouldn't that be a message from grandma? I mean, if you're thinking about the apple pie and then you taste it, that's not the same thing as a dead loved one is giving you a message by
I think that this is one that
I
don't connect much with.
This is the one I don't connect much with at all. I can imagine tasting things and stuff. Mm-hmm. I can't think of... I truly... Man, I cannot think of a time where I was not thinking about my grandma or not thinking about baked goods and then... all of a sudden, I was thinking about the things that I ate that my grandmother made.
Me too.
No,
I know. Is your mouth doing a thing? Because I'm
no, I had a thing on my tooth, and
I'm I can taste it. Oh,
no, you're fine. But I'm also, my grandma was not nice. I don't really think grandma would be trying to talk to me anyway. And she's the only person other than my immediate family that I can remember really feeding me because grandma made baked goods like nobody's business until the diabetes made her not, because she couldn't bake and not taste it, so she had to stop, and we all mourned that fucking day. This woman could bake like nobody's business, but I don't have any other deceased relatives that there would be a flavor like a thing, and again, grandma ain't coming to talk to me. Aunt Bev might, but she wasn't the baker, so she's the one.
I'm wondering,
smells, old lady perfume smells.
So the last one is claircognizance, right? Am I pronouncing that correctly? So I feel a connection with this one too, which
clear
is clear knowing. It's I would say it's that gut instinct.
See, for me, I feel because it's knowing things you shouldn't know, and I feel the claircognizance definitely goes with my tarot readings more, because it's just all of a sudden I'll have a thought that goes along with this tarot reading that I shouldn't know, but I do. You know what I mean?
I feel that. For me, I'm also really good at telling when people is lying, when people are lying.
Right. Well, and my really youngest daughter, I think I've told stories about this before on the show, but I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I've told you whether I've mentioned it on the show or not, but when she was a little kid, she would come talk to us about shit that we talked about when she wasn't even home. When she's a 3, 4, 5-year-old, she'd be telling us about conversations we had that she wasn't a part of, she wasn't in the house for. She was at my dad's house, which isn't next door or anything, you know what I mean? And then she'd know stuff her dad and I had been talking about, and it's how the fuck does this kid know that shit? There's no way for her to know. You know what I mean? That shit's weird.
So for me,
super cool.
This one makes it hard for me to get close to people because when someone's telling a story or they're talking,
God damn it, yeah.
I hate it because I want to believe what you're saying, but I also don't understand.
No, you're fucking lying.
I don't understand how people so blindly be oh, they did that to you? Fuck them. And really it's I know you did some shit, bro, and you're just not, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I hate it. I hate it so much. This is
fucking A.
If I had to dislike a gift, it's got to be this one because I fucking hate it. I mean, I love it because I love knowing it. My husband probably hates it because I'm really, Bryson? Oh, sorry, I can't believe I said his name.
Yeah, I'm
really?
About the men on this show.
Really? Is that really what happened? Well, how did you know? I don't know. I just did.
Honestly, clairsentience is the one that I dislike the most, just because sometimes I've gotten so much better at it, but like it can be overwhelming sometimes. Like if you're dealing with your own shit and then everybody else's shit is coming at you, whether you want it to or not, and like I said, I've gotten better about it. Like when I don't want it to, I'm pretty good at shutting the fuck off at my age, right? But when I was younger, I'd get so overwhelmed and so uncomfortable because of it. I had to grow out of it. I had to learn to get beyond it. But like for me, that's the gift where I'm like, you can keep that shit. I don't need to know that somebody's mad when they want to tell me they okay. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know. I don't need to know how you feel. I don't need to know that you are like so utterly upset. I don't mean that in a selfish way. It's just, it would be easier. Life would be easier.
I think for me,
ignorance is bliss.
I think for me, mine is probably the one that I most associate with, which is the clairvoyance. I feel like I kind of close that one off a lot easier and more because seeing spirits gets really exhausting. Here are, like connecting and feeling spirits gets very exhausting. If it comes to the claircognizance, clear knowing, and the clairsentience, I never shut that shit off. Unless I feel like I absolutely have to. I never shut that shit off because I'm nosy. I don't mean that as like a terrible ass witch, but I'm just like, and the funny thing is, my husband and I were talking about it. I'm like, nobody knows I know. And he's like, you think that, but you're like the fucking kid from Hey Arnold behind
the canary.
The fucking kid from Hey Arnold that's like right behind Helga, who's like, he's like, you think you're really like sneaky about opening up and feeling how people feel, but you're really staring at them like Jasper from Twilight.
See, that's why I don't fucking do that shit.
Because you're like...
I know exactly what he's talking about, because when I find myself opening up and focusing, then I'm like, stop staring.
I know, I'm like staring at... If you ever catch me doing that, or I'm really quiet, I'm just like... I know this bitch